I don't know if you know, but it's just been over 12 months since we were last able to meet together in person as a church. So it's been 12 months since our buildings, our Key Street, have had to close. And this has all been because of the coronavirus pandemic. But we've been finding new ways as a church to continue to minister the gospel during these times. The church buildings may have been closed, but I would like to think that the church has very much been alive and open during this last 12 months as we've had to learn how to embrace online technology, get to know what Zoom is, but also be good news to our community through helping out neighbours and those close to us, checking in on one another through telephone calls. The church has very much been open over the last 12 months. A few weeks ago, Boris Johnson shared the roadmap to recovery. This was how society was going to open up in the coming days. Well, as a church leadership team, one of the things that we've been doing is to think about how we might begin to reopen our church buildings and begin to do some in-person ministry in line with what the government guidelines allow. And so today we publish our 4-stage recovery plan, our recovery plan of reopening our church ministries. And so our first stage that begins towards the end of the month is a slightly soft beginning, but it's just to encourage small groups where possible that they can meet outside. And so you might wish to go for a walk with members of your small group, up to 6 people, towards the end of this month from the 29th of March. We are going to continue to do Woodbridge Quay online, and we're going to continue to do Hands That Pray Tuesday. That's something that's going to continue now for the foreseeable future. There is going to be a mixture of pre-record and live stream services all the way up until June the 21st, when we're able to meet together in person, and from which point we will then begin to do live stream services from within the church sanctuary. Perhaps the most significant moment will probably come in stage 2, when we begin to open the church building on a Sunday morning for Sunday school. Those of you who are old enough to remember, Sunday school never actually used to happen at the same time as church. One of the things that used to happen was Sunday school used to happen in the afternoon, and it would give parents a bit of time to have some time off from their kids at the weekend. So Sunday school used to be quite popular. But one of the things that we've noticed about the government guidelines is that they are very keen to encourage children to do activities with one another, and are allowing that to take place. And so from the 18th of April, we are going to reopen the church as a Sunday school with hopefully as many as 2 groups meeting of up to 15 children in each group. That's obviously dependent on getting enough volunteers to help and make sure that that takes place, but that is certainly our desire. Parents and carers of those children can then access the church service in the sanctuary. So this is our first tentative step towards opening up the church buildings, and in doing so we're going to prioritise the children of this church and making sure that they can do activities together as the government guidelines allow. There is provision for coffee at Quay to maybe start from that point. However, all of this is dependent on enough volunteers and making sure that we do it in a COVID secure way. In stage 3, there is provision in place for us to potentially do some outdoor church services for up to 30 people and some activities for up to 30 people. And also full church small groups are able to meet outside then if they would desire to. And if the weather's nice in May, I'd really encourage small groups to see if they can make that happen. Church small groups of up to 6 people are then able to meet indoors, so you can welcome people into your home. And reminder, like we did through the summer months, you are then able to meet with another household from this point in your home and watch church together on the telly if you would like to. At this point as well, having hopefully had a successful period where we have piloted having children's ministry going on in the large hall and hopefully upstairs, we will also be opening up the sanctuary to other people so that they can access the church service online, and that will be ticketed through our Church Suite system. There will then also be a slow introduction of live elements to our church services. So whereas in phase 2 people will be watching the service on the screen, in phase 3 the idea is that actually we might be able to introduce things like live preaching as well. And then hopefully, if all goes well, in stage 4 we will be able to resume full services, but we are waiting to see what the government has to say about things like social distancing, singing and face masks, and that is one of the things that's going to take a little bit more time to clarify what that would look like. But even like I said earlier on, from that point we will still be live streaming services to those who perhaps feel uncomfortable still about coming back to church. We're really excited about the possibility of reopening church in the coming days, and we recognise this is all dependent on what the government guidelines continue to say. But these are the first tentative steps towards reopening, and so we hope that you'll get on board with this. We really hope that you will be excited as well about church beginning to reopen. But if there are any questions that you have, don't hesitate to contact me. We would love to hear from you if you have any concerns, any worries about the church reopening. But overall, we are so glad that this is the direction that we are hoping to take in the coming months.